Hello everyone, Jeremy here, and this is the newly released Mega Bloks Call of Duty Collector Construction Set Rib Beach Assault. Mega Bloks just announced these earlier this month, and you can find them currently in Toys R Us stores. Maybe your Toys R Us already has them in stock, perhaps they don't. You may have to do like I did and just go online at toysrus.com and purchase this. Now, this particular set costs $19.99 and it has 162 pieces. And there's a few other sets as well. We've got the Mega Bloks Call of Duty Drone Attack that sells for 10. The Mountain Recon also sells for 10. And there's also a Chopper Strike set that sells for $32. And coming up in the future, you'll be able to buy these care package sets that come with about 2 or 3 different figures in the larger sets that tend to cost about $60, and that's going to be for the heavy armor outpost with a tank and also the drone battleground, which has it's more like a base type structure. But for right now, we're just going to concentrate on the Rib Beach Assault because this comes with 2 figures and it comes with this boat here. So normally I don't look at the boxes of these things too hard, but I do think it's pretty cool the way that they have the water in the background. It looks, I think that might be real water. In fact, this whole scene I think just may be real. I think that this may be a real beach and that they just set these toys up right there to have a more dramatic effect. We flip it over on the back side and we can see everything that comes in this set. And one of the biggest, most coolest things about this is the customization that you can put into these figures. These are not just typical figures that have a head, a couple arms, torso, and some legs, and then you're done. There are a lot of accessories to go along with them. They can be put in many different poses, and I'm going to show you all of that once I open up this box and put it all together. But yeah, just to get a better look at the box, very nice actually. The way that they did everything, the traditional Call of Duty night vision green and yellow tints. And you see the figures that you get here. You get Derek Frost Westbrook. And yeah, brand new license from Mega Bloks, who also handles the Skylanders brand. They do World of Warcraft stuff. There's been some StarCraft sets from Mega Bloks and also Need for Speed. So they take care of the gaming side of things, especially for the more mature audiences, since Lego won't touch those kind of things. So that's enough of the box. Let me crack this open, build it, and show you what this whole thing is about. So I'm working on getting all the pieces separated so I can build this thing, but I came across this bag and I just wanted to point out, like I said in the first part of the video, about how these are not just your typical minifigures. This bag here contains all of the pieces that are needed to make all the figures. I'm trying to see if you can get a decent look of all the parts that you need inside the bag, and all of these make up the figures and their accessories. And there's also this instruction booklet that is purely dedicated to creating the individual figures. I mean, of course, like there, you got your torso, you put that together, but all this is for creating just the base character, and all the accessories and whatnot comes afterwards. So that should give you an idea of how much detail is expected to be in these figures. So this is what the final product looks like for the Call of Duty Mega Bloks Rib Beach Assault, and I say that is pretty good. The things that you get with this set are 2 micro figures, the boat, and a chest, which is currently off camera, that you would use for storage, store your extra weapons and all your other little pieces if you want to do that. It's not very exciting, so I'll show you that in a second. But what I want to show now is the boat. So as we turn this around, we can see that there is this engine piece right here in the back, and I've got one of the micro figures holding on to it. The cool thing about it is that it moves side to side and it's on a hinge, so it can also go up and down. And the theory is, since you'll be in the water, it is very likely that the water will be above this propeller, which also spins, so that will control whether you go left or right and things like that, while the other guy just kind of hangs back and looks out for people or things that he has to shoot. So here's a look at the other side, and these pieces around here, around the side of the boat, these are all printed on the pieces. There are no stickers in this set at all, so everything that you see are printed pieces, and I think that's pretty cool to have that camouflage there. And there is a sort of like a grayish blue tint to the camo on the boat. That's pretty cool there. And then we also have this bit of rope that you begin tying at the end here and wrap it around the boat, eventually ending up on the opposite side. I'm not entirely sure what the rope is for, possibly for pulling the boat, but then again, you can just have one of your figures grab this piece here and drag the boat if that's what you want to do. And then we also have this chest piece right here, and it's just very simple. It was a very simple build, but if we can open it up, and it's not that easy to open actually. Let me just see if I can do it off camera. There we go. The whole thing comes apart, and this is where you'll keep all your extra pieces. Inside there I've got some flippers and a couple extra weapons. I will show you all of that in a moment, but the main thrill about this set by far has to be the figures and how customizable they are, and how you can articulate them in a lot of different poses, unlike traditional minifigures. So let me show you what that looks like up close right now. The characters themselves are capable of some really nice articulation. You can pose these guys in a variety of different poses depending on the situation that you are trying to create. But just like in typical Mega Bloks fashion, the micro figures, while very articulate, they are a little fidgety. It takes some time to get a really good deliberate pose out of these guys. And as you can see, I have the two micro figures studded into this extra piece that came along with the set. And with Mega Bloks, Mega Bloks are typically pretty good, but as far as the build quality and how well the figures and the blocks stay and the bricks stay together, they are not up to snuff with Lego. So even just putting this pose right here, it proved to be a little difficult because the characters were not staying studded in as well as I felt that they should have been. It's really nothing new. It's the same type of issue that you will get from micro figures from the World of Warcraft set. They are not bad, so I just want to stress that they're not bad at all. In fact, these are very, very nicely detailed. I'm going to get nice and close up to these figures in a second. I just wanted to show you both of them together, and pretty much almost everything that you see that could very well look like full pieces that came together that were like this out of the box. Not so. Separate pieces. The head is separate. The gun itself is made up of about 4 different pieces is what that gun is made out of. The legs are made up of a couple different pieces. The arms are made up of a couple different pieces. This vest under here and the plate that's on it, that's a couple different pieces. And I showed, like in the beginning part of the video, the bag that had all those individual pieces for a character, and it was just for one character. That's pretty great. So let me show you one of the guys up close and see if I can let you see how many pieces go into actually making one of these guys. Alright, let's get a nice close look at this guy here. Very nice detail. If you can see the print on his legs, symbolize the type of gear that he has, on his boots. This knife here is detachable. You get 2 knives in the set, and it just clips right onto the bottom of his leg there. Just absolutely filled with accessories, and the accessories can be changed in between the different figures. You don't have to have it like the way that I have it here. So I'm going to take his gun away, pry it out of his cold dead hands. Let's put his gun over here, and let's just try to get an idea of the amount of articulation that you can get here. Now, this is the range of motion that he has with his arms and that ball joint right there. You can bend his hand kind of like this. You can move his hand around to face whatever direction that you want to face it in. Oh, and his arm came off. So that's one thing you have to look out for. If you push it to the extreme, then the piece can come off. But anyway, you can have him make it look like he's probably doing like a hand signal or something, telling the guy to hold up, wait, or whatever. You can see over here, has the same type of range of motion with his hands and arms. You can bring it down there. I believe that this is typically the way that it's supposed to look, but you can easily make it look like his limbs are disjointed and just really freakish. That's one of the things you have to look out for. But for his legs, you can get his knee joints to move about that far back and this far up, and then his leg can bend that far back, and it can totally look like he's doing some sort of really crazy dance or whatever. Same thing with this leg. You know, so I guess if you wanna, there's a set with a helicopter that's out, so if you kind of wanted to make it look like he's you know, falling out of that helicopter and he's about to hit the parachute, you can totally do that. So really nice range of motion. And I'm going to take off some of these pieces so that you can see here. This is his headpiece, and you can just pop that off. You don't get an actual head, just the helmet for his scuba diving or whatnot. That's the only thing that you get here. So that's what that looks like. And this piece, this front piece here, is actually connected. Let me see if I can take that off. Yep, that part comes off. The vest underneath, that comes off as well. Let's see if I can get that. Oh, there's his torso. Torso piece comes off. This piece right here, that comes off. Of course, the legs come off as well. Let's see if I can take off this vest. I might be on there pretty good. Might not be able to do it. I'm not going to be able to do it. But, yeah, all that comes off. Looks really freaky, almost like a weird incomplete Terminator or whatever. But once you're done, it's easy enough to just put them all back together. Give it a good little squeeze, because sometimes that part likes to come off. Pop his helmet back on, and this piece here, if I can just take a look at it, see which way it's supposed to go. It goes this way. And if we can look at it from the side, is that how that? Oh, okay, it's not over enough. Oh god, my hands are sweaty. I'm not sure if you can tell, but it's making it difficult to work with these pieces. There we go. Up, and his torso fell off again. Yeah, so Mega Bloks figures can be quite fidgety, as I said before. So that's that guy, and here is the other guy. Pretty much the same thing, you know. The only difference is that the color scheme, they come in 2 separate bags, and like I said, you can mix and match. If you want to give the guy dressed in gray the gray knife, you can do that, but I just decided, for the sake of contrast, that it would be better if the guy dressed in black had the gray knife and the guy dressed in gray had the black knife. And yeah, that's just the way I wanted to go about doing things. He's put together the exact same way. There are holes on the back of these guys so that if you wanted to put in another accessory, another weapon or something like that, you can do that. And let me show you, move these guys out of the way, this gun, because it's made up of a few different parts. So we can take that part off, we can take the barrel off, we can take the stock off. This other part here, we've got the magazine, you can take that off, and then you can take those parts off. So that is what makes up the gun. And when you want to put it together, all you have to do is like, okay, well, this is the part with the iron sights, so that slots in right there. The barrel goes on the end of that, and then we have the magazine, which slides in. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it just sort of slides in right there. Let me make sure I got it correctly. Very, very small pieces. Oh no, I dropped it. Very small pieces, and sweaty hands do not make for the best demonstration. Alright, so we got that slotted in there, and then finally we have the stock at the end of the gun. Put that up there. I believe that's the right side up, and that's how you make that gun. And I can imagine as more sets come along, there are going to be more parts so that you can further customize your weapons. So that's a look at the minifigures, and here are some additional accessories that also come. Here are the flippers that you can put on the micro figures. Then keep saying minifigures, but you can put these flippers on there. 2 sets of flippers, and you also get an extra gun just for the sake of demonstration. Once again, the flippers go on easy enough. You know, it's just one flipper there, and the other flipper right there. So there he goes, all decked out in his flippers. So yeah, let's take a look at all of them together and give you my final thoughts and wrap this bad boy up. Okay, so some final thoughts about this Call of Duty set from Mega Bloks. I have to say, I enjoy it. I like it. I think that these micro figures are a really, really big deal, especially if Mega Bloks decides to come out with maybe some blind bags with these figures in them, or and especially those care package sets that are coming out in like October, November, that really focuses on the figures themselves. If you can collect a decent amount of these and swap out their weapons and all their accessories and customize them the way that you want them to, that's fantastic. And the amount of articulation that you can set these figures up to display. You can put them in whatever kind of poses you can think of, provided you can still get them to stand up and everything. So from that technical aspect, I think that these are really, really good. But one problem that I have is something that I don't think necessarily is the problem specifically of Mega Bloks, but maybe more have to do with the Call of Duty brand itself, is by looking at this, it's not easily recognizable as something that is Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is just a military-based first-person shooter that really takes place in a modern or somewhat in the future, but not too far out into the future kind of world. So a tank is a tank, a boat is a boat, a rifle is a rifle. This could have been any other set, any other set at all, and we would not have been able to tell the difference between Call of Duty and some generic military themed construction set. So I think that the people who are really going to be buying these are, well, of course, you have to be fans of building blocks in general, but really this is just going to be propelled strictly by the Call of Duty name. Because I really don't see much in these sets that make me personally go, this is amazing. And I've got to get more of these. Nothing that quite stands out. Not a huge fan of military type stuff, but it's really just the Call of Duty theme. It's Call of Duty brand. And if you're wondering if this boat floats or not, I can say that I did try to make it float. It did float, but everything inside will get wet. You know, it is not like it's weather sealed. The water will definitely seep into the cracks of the bricks underneath, and you'll get everything in there wet. Now, fortunately, these are just plastic bricks, so it's not like they're going to melt or damaged or anything like that. You know, but it can hold itself in the water. So yeah, would I buy any more of these? I really don't know. Maybe I will, just so I can, show them to you guys and you can decide if you want to buy them. But I rather like the price. This was $20, which I don't think is that bad. The piece count, what is it, like 162 pieces? It's okay. But this is a brand. This is a Call of Duty licensed set, so that's not bad. The smaller sets are $10 and the most expensive is $60. So $60 for the top high-end top tier set for this brand, hey, we've seen a lot worse. So I like this, and I'm looking forward to trying out some of the other ones in the future. And if I do, I'll be sure to make a video about those and let you know my thoughts on those as well. So thank you for watching. Until next time, I'm Jeremy, and I'll see you later.